Hello and welcome to FacChat, our chat with Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technologies faculty. Today we have with us Ravi. He is a very special facilitator at Srishti because he was part of the founding faculty that set up Srishti years and years and years ago. Ravi, thank you for talking to us. And my first question is, tell us a little bit about the time when it all started, the universe as we know it today.
Well, as you know, it started 25 plus years back, and with just as little as 7 students, which has grown to be this big now over the years. And well, it's largely the brainchild of Mrs. Narayanan and a few more founding faculty of that time, Kasuri and few other people have come together, and they thought, like in South India, we don't have an equivalent of an idea something in South India. It's like big enough institution that caters for the art and design need. So that was, I think, the kernel of the thought that has blossomed into this. Also, another thing was that there are n number of fine arts colleges, there are design colleges, but there is no college that is kind of catering to the art, design, and technology under one roof. So that was another integrative idea that has started, and then there you are. That's how Srishti is born.
Did you expect it to become so big in the initial years?
We always aspired to make it big. Yes.
So in terms of, okay, so there was this whole journey and now we are sort of merged with this big education conglomerate, Mahesh. What do you think that means for this institute?
Well, it's a growth in a different direction. Yeah. So far, we have been independent, and independent college has its certain benefits of its certain freedom and everything, but at the same time, it also certain kind of difficulties that one needs to face. So I think joining forces with this established bigger institution does have its own advantages. These things where certain kind of a growth is definitely infrastructural, and other growth is more possible now. Such as we have a big campus now, which we can call our own. Instead of just scattered kind of buildings and all that, then we are now together in one place. That itself breeds a lot more dialogue, as opposed to where any given student having to travel from one building to another building to meet and all that. So that's just to start with as a one benefit, but there are several more.
Can you tell us a little bit about your practice, Ravi, what you do here, what you've been doing here over the years?
Well, I had been an academician through and through, largely, and less of a practitioner and more of an academician. I think that way, more of a teaching and facilitating. Having said that, I do try to practice, although it's largely in my head, because there is no time or whatever else that to be able to actually execute it, the work. So, for 2 reasons. One is it's not just always a time factor, but also as a studio artist, the medium and material that one need to deal was color on the canvas kind of a thing, where we started. Now the media is so wide and so vast, and so installations and performances and so on. So I do conceive ideas in that regard too, but now naturally that kind of thing calls for a devoted time and space and everything, infrastructure and so on, so forth, which is not possible. So therefore also I'm not executing it, but actually I do keep something kind of a practice alive in my head at least, on the notebooks and all that. For the 2 reasons, because as an academician, I'm also an artist at the same time, so therefore I need to have that as a synergy that is transferring from one to the other. So my teaching is kind of carries the ideas that I carry. I try to practice in my own thing, and what I practice actually informs the way that what I could teach and so on and so forth. So it's integrated.
You're very passionate about what you do and you throw yourself into various things. One of the pictures that went viral in our community recently was you perched on top of some kind of construction activity on the new campus. What exactly were you doing there, and why did you take that risk?
What we, anyways, all of us always have been doing it. I mean, it's not anything special. It's just that they were trying to fix those screens in that window, big window. It's a large screen in a large window, and it's above the ground. So just climb the ladder and put it up there. And just lending a hand.
One of the things you've been driving more recently is a whole lab and atelier program at SMI. Tell us a little bit about how that is envisioned and how that is working.
That's a good one. That
Because it's really strange. It's there is no attendance for it. Students are supposed to come of their own volition. They're supposed to be passionate about what they're doing. Faculty are not supposed to pressure them in any way. At the same time, we look for output. So it's quite a difficult balance.
Well, I think perhaps that is what is the strength of that idea of ateliers, is that, like the name atelier, is the studios. So it's a space for exploration as well as experimentation and the realization of one's own ideas. Ideas that may or may not be a result of direct result of the units and whatever is studied. It's not the assignments that are to be fulfilled, but ideas that are beyond the assignments, also beyond the thing, but long cherished ideas or new ideas that we want to explore, both at a material level, medium level, method level, or just ideas level. So the whole range of those things, everybody that can practice. And of course, needless to say that every student is potentially many. I mean, they are much than just rather than to say somebody is a furniture designer or a product designer or whatever, one thing. So what happens to all that other wanting to excel in something else? There has to be a space that is provided within the institution, as opposed to saying that boxing them into one category and saying that only this you do 9 to 5 and there's nothing else kind of thing. So this idea of this, for an atelier that is free of this academic, restrictions or not restrictions, academic, system related restrictions rather, such as created language and the grade language. Beyond that thing, as a free space to explore, is born. Again, Mr. Narayanan has brought in that idea, and I think that's, as an artist, I welcome it very much, of course, because it indicates not only the free spirit of the creativity for its own sake, as opposed to formalized, instruction-based kind of this thing, where people are learning by doing, as opposed to understanding theory and then apply it later kind of a thing, and then test it and then see I can prove it kind of business. This is where here the proof is just in the product itself that what we are producing. So it does encourage a kind of fingertip knowledge for people. So that liberated idea is the core of the ideas. We are trying to do the best.
Ravi, thank you so much for dropping in. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
Thanks.